Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to our zoology class, online class. I hope you all studied the last class question answers. And in the last class, we have studied about two important topics. The first topic is sex-linked inheritance, and the second topic is karyotyping. Okay, so I hope you all studied these two question answers. Okay, already I told you many 5-mark question, many small 2-mark questions, and 3-mark questions, and many 1-mark questions also there. So I hope you all studied these two topics. Okay, here sex, once again repeat the definition of this sex-linked inheritance. Sex-linked inheritance means inheritance of characters determined by a gene located in the sex chromosome of the human cell is called sex-linked inheritance. So sex-linked inheritance meaning inheritance of characters determined by a gene located in any one of the sex chromosome is called sex-linked inheritance. And the second topic we studied is karyotyping. It is a technique. Karyotyping is a technique. So with the help of this technique, we can separate the complete set of chromosomes from the cell. And all these chromosomes are arranged in a pair. So this technique is called karyotyping. Understand? So you all studied these two topics. I hope you. Okay. Today we are going to study about one very important topic. Okay. And here also 1 or 2 5-mark questions, 3-mark question, 2-mark question, and many 1-mark questions also there. So listen very carefully. So today we are going to study about genetic diseases. Okay. Here's genetic diseases meaning it's a disorder or syndrome, and these diseases affecting the human beings due to some reasons. The reasons may be abnormalities or the mutation in a single gene, or abnormalities in a single chromosome, or abnormalities in a set of chromosomes. Okay, so these are the reason for the genetic disorder or genetic disease. So now I said the reason for the genetic disorder. What are the reasons I said now? The first reason is abnormalities or mutation happening in a single gene, or abnormalities in a single chromosome, or abnormalities in a set of chromosomes. So these three are the reason for this genetic disorder. Understand? Okay. This genetic disorder is classified into two types. The first type is called Mendelian disorder, and the second one is called chromosomal disorder. So the genetic disorders are classified into two types. One is Mendelian disorder and the second one is chromosomal disorder. Here Mendelian disorder meaning if the abnormalities or the mutation happen in a single gene, it leads to some disorder. That disorders are called Mendelian disorders. So this main reason for the Mendelian disorder is mutation or sudden change or abnormalities in a single gene is called Mendelian disorder. So if any mutation occur in a single gene, sometimes it leads to some disorder. So today we are going to study about some examples for this Mendelian diseases or Mendelian disorder. The first disease is thalassemia. First disorder is thalassemia. Listen very carefully. See, thalassemia is the disorder affecting the RBCs of the human blood. Okay, RBCs of the human blood, and this disease is due to the autosomal recessive alleles. Okay, autosomal recessive alleles meaning autosome means the chromosomes are controlling the characters of the body, somatic. Okay, so this disease is due to the autosomal recessive gene. Listen very carefully. See, normally you all know our blood has 3 types of cells: RBC, WBC, and platelets. The inside the RBC, one red color pigment is there. It is called hemoglobin. Okay, already you have studied in the lower classes. So hemoglobin is a red color pigment present in the RBCs of the human blood, and the main function of this hemoglobin is carrying the respiratory gas, carrying the oxygen, supplying the oxygen to the cells. So this is the main function of this hemoglobin molecule. And this hemoglobin molecule is made up of 4 important polypeptide chains: 2 alpha polypeptide chains and 2 beta polypeptide chains. Once again repeat, the hemoglobin molecules of the RBC is made up of 4 important polypeptide chains. 2 chains are called alpha chains and 2 chains are called beta chains. Understand? Understand you? Here already I told you this disease is due to one autosomal recessive genes. So some genes, some normal genes controlling the production of this hemoglobin molecule. When the gene is in normal condition, that gene can produce the normal hemoglobin. When this gene is involved in mutation, it is converted into recessive condition. So the recessive gene unable to produce normal hemoglobin molecules. Okay, so the recessive genes responsible for the production of this hemoglobin molecule unable to produce the normal hemoglobin molecules. So if the hemoglobin molecule is in abnormal condition, it leads to the destruction of RBC. It leads to the destruction of RBC. So this condition is called thalassemia. This condition is called thalassemia. Then based on the chain which is affected, the thalassemia disease is classified into two types: alpha thalassemia and beta thalassemia. Okay, already I told you 4 polypeptide chains are there, 2 beta chains and 2 alpha chains. Okay, sometimes the alpha chain may be affected, sometimes the beta chains may be affected. Okay, so if the beta chain is affected, this condition is called beta thalassemia, and suppose if the alpha chain is affected, this condition is called alpha thalassemia. Understand all of you? Then listen very carefully. See, the alpha thalassemia is due to 2 genes. The name of the gene is called HbA1 and HbA2. These 2 genes only are responsible for the production of alpha chains. So if any damages or if any alteration takes place in these genes, these 2 genes produce abnormal alpha chains, and these 2 chains are located in the 16th chromosome of our cell. Okay, so 16th chromosome of the cell has 2 important genes, HbA1 and HbA2. If these 2 genes are involved in mutation or in any alteration, these genes produce some abnormal alpha chains. And the second type of thalassemia, I told you, beta thalassemia. And the genes responsible for this beta thalassemia is HBB gene. HBB gene, and this gene is located in the 11th chromosome. This gene is located in the 11th chromosomes. Understand? And this HBB gene only responsible for the beta thalassemia. And this disease is also known as Cooley's anemia. This disease is also known as Cooley's anemia. So once again repeat all the points about this thalassemia. Thalassemia is the disorder affecting the RBCs of the human blood. And this disease is due to one recessive gene, autosomal recessive gene. Normally the genes producing some normal hemoglobin molecules, and these hemoglobin molecules only giving red color to our blood, and main function is carrying the oxygen. When these genes responsible for the production of normal hemoglobin molecules sometimes involved in mutation. Okay, so that gene is unable to produce the normal hemoglobin molecules. If the hemoglobin molecule is abnormal, it leads to the destruction of RBC. It leads to the destruction of RBC. Then the thalassemia is classified into 2 types: alpha thalassemia and beta thalassemia. The genes responsible for the alpha thalassemia is HbA1 and HbA2. These 2 genes are located in the 16th chromosome. And the genes responsible for the beta thalassemia is HBB, and this gene is located in the 11th chromosome, and this disorder is also known as Cooley's anemia. I hope you all understood this thalassemia. Then second disease is called phenylketonuria. Phenylketonuria. Second disease is called phenylketonuria. The genes responsible for this disease is called PHA gene. Okay, PHA gene, and this gene is located in the 12th chromosome. Located in the chromosome number 12. Listen very carefully. See, phenylketonuria is the inborn error of one metabolism. Name of that metabolism is called phenylalanine. Inborn error of phenylalanine metabolism. Listen very carefully. See, one enzyme. Name of that enzyme is called phenylalanine hydroxylase. Okay, so phenylalanine hydroxylase is one of the very important enzyme. This enzyme, the production of this enzyme is controlled by this PHA gene. Okay, PHA gene. And this gene is located in the 12th chromosome. And the main function of this phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme is, this enzyme only converting one amino acid called phenylalanine. Phenylalanine into one important amino acid, it is called alanine. Understand? So phenylalanine is converted into, okay, phenylalanine is converted into tyrosine. Tyrosine. Phenylalanine is converted into tyrosine with the help of this enzyme. So the function of this phenylalanine hydroxylase is converting this phenylalanine into tyrosine. Phenylalanine into tyrosine. So already told you this enzyme's production is controlled by this PHA gene. When this gene is involved in mutation, okay, because of some reason this gene may involved in mutation. Okay, so if this gene is involved in mutation, it is converted into a recessive form. It is converted into recessive form. The recessive form gene, okay, recessive PHA gene unable to produce this enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. So if the production of this phenylalanine hydroxylase is absent in the cells, this phenylalanine is not converted into tyrosine. Phenylalanine is not converted into tyrosine, and this phenylalanine is directly converted into an acid. It is called phenylpyruvic acid. Phenylpyruvic acid. Listen very carefully. Phenylketonuria is the disorder. This disorder is due to the inborn error of phenylalanine metabolism. And the genes responsible for this disorder is called PHA gene, and this gene is located in the 12th chromosome. And this gene only controlling the production of one enzyme. Name of that enzyme is called phenylalanine hydroxylase. The main function of this phenylalanine hydroxylase is converting this phenylalanine into tyrosine. If this gene is involved in mutation, this gene is unable to produce this enzyme. So this phenylalanine is not converted into tyrosine. Phenylalanine is not converted into tyrosine. Instead of tyrosine, this phenylalanine is converted into phenylpyruvic acid. Understand? That's all about this disorder. So if anyone is affected by this disorder, it leads to some physical and mental problem. Okay, physical and mental problem, and more amount of this acid, phenylpyruvic acid, is excreted through the urine. These are the symptoms of this disorder. So I hope you all understood these two disorders. The third disorder is called albinism. Third one is called albinism. See, albinism. Listen very carefully. Melanin is a very important colored substance present in the skin region, eye region, and also in the hair. So this melanin pigments only giving color to our body. If the concentration or the amount of melanin pigment is very high in the body, the color of the body is black color. If the concentration of the melanin pigment is very low, the color of the body is white color. And this melanin pigment is produced inside a cell. Name of the cell is called melanocyte. So inside the melanocyte cells only this melanin pigment is produced, and this melanin pigment is only responsible for the color of our body, color of the eye, and color of the hair. Understand all of you? Then listen very carefully. See, albinism. If anyone is affected with this albinism disorder, the amount of this melanin pigment is totally absent in their body. Totally absent in their body. And here also one enzyme playing a very important role. Name of that enzyme is called tyrosinase. Name of that enzyme is called tyrosinase. This tyrosinase enzyme only converting one amino acid into melanin. Converting one amino acid into melanin. Name of that amino acid is called 3,4 dihydroxyphenylalanine. This 3,4 dihydroxyphenylalanine is converted into melanin. With the help of this tyrosinase enzyme. Understand? So here also this tyrosinase enzyme production is controlled by some genes. When that particular gene is involved in mutation, that inside the cell this tyrosinase production is affected. If tyrosine is not produced properly, this 3,4-dihydroxyphenylalanine is not converted into melanin. So the amount of melanin is very low in the body. Already I told you this melanin is produced in the melanocyte of the skin. Okay. So in this people, okay, in this affected person, the melanocyte cells are there. But the amount of melanin is very low or melanin is absent because the tyrosinase enzyme is absent. Understand? So once again, repeat this albinism disorder. This albinism disorder is also one of a inborn error. And normally the melanin pigment only giving color to our body, and this melanin pigment is produced inside the melanocyte. Inside a cell it is called melanocyte. And this melanin pigment is highly present in the skin region, eye region, and also in the hair region. Understand a few? Then here one enzyme, name of that enzyme is called tyrosinase. The main function of this tyrosinase is converting 3,4-dihydroxyphenylalanine into melanin. Converting 3,4-dihydroxyphenylalanine into melanin. If the genes responsible for the production of this tyrosinase is involved in mutation, the genes unable to produce this tyrosinase enzyme. If tyrosinase enzyme is absent, this amino acid is not converted into melanin. So the melanin concentration is very low in the affected person. Understand all of you? So I hope you understood this third disorder also, albinism. Then fourth one is Huntington chorea. The fourth disorder is Huntington chorea. This is a autosomal dominant disorder. Listen very carefully. Now we completed 3 disorders. The first one is thalassemia, second one is phenylketonuria, and third one is albinism. So these 3 disorders are due to some autosomal recessive genes. But this Huntington chorea is the disease due to autosomal dominant gene. Autosomal dominant gene. Then if any person is affected with this Huntington disorder, that person will die between the age of 35 to 40. During the age of 35 to 40. Then the main symptoms of this disorder is involuntary jerking of body muscles. We cannot control, the body is always jerking. Okay, so this is the main symptom of this Huntington chorea. Then the other symptoms, nervous system problem, damages in the nervous system, physical and mental problems. So these are the other symptoms of this Huntington chorea. Understand a few? So here two important 1 mark questions I set. First one is, it is the autosomal dominant gene disorder. Autosomal, this is the one and only autosomal dominant gene disorder. Then this disorder, if anybody is affected by this disorder, the person will die between the age of 35 to 40. So these two are the important 1 mark questions. Then symptoms, I said some symptoms. First symptom, involuntary jerking of body, uncontrolled jerking of body. Then damages in nervous system. Then the third one is some other physical and mental problem. Physical and mental retardation. So these are the symptoms of this Huntington chorea. Okay, my dear students. So genetic disorders are classified into 2 types. Already I told you. One is Mendelian disorder and the second one is chromosomal disorder. Now we have completed 4 examples for Mendelian disorder. What are the examples? First one is thalassemia, second one is phenylketonuria, third one is albinism, and the fourth one is Huntington chorea. Understand all of you? I hope you understood. Then next disorder is chromosomal disorder. Next disorder is chromosomal disorder. See, chromosomal disorder meaning, already you all know that totally 46 chromosomes are there, and all these 46 chromosomes are arranged in 23 pairs. First 44 chromosomes are called autosomes. They are determining our body character, and the last 2 chromosomes are called sex chromosomes. They are determining our sex. Understand? So here chromosomal disorder meaning, if any alteration or if any changes occur in the structure of chromosome or the number of chromosome, it leads to some disorder. That disorders are called chromosomal disorders. And maximum these changes in the number and the changes in the structure is happening during the cell division. Normally when the cell is dividing in their number, the chromosomes also dividing in their number. Because of some errors, or if the cell is not divided properly, the chromosomes also not dividing. So it leads to one or more chromosome increasing in a cell or decreasing in a cell. If the chromosome is not divided properly, in the next cell, the number of chromosome is increasing or decreasing. Understand? Understand you? So that's all about this chromosomal disorder. Then the chromosomal disorder also classified into two types. One is autosomal disorder and the second one is disorders. Okay, so chromosomal disorder means these disorders are due to the changes or alteration in the structure and number of chromosomes. Okay, so the chromosomes, if the structure or the number of chromosomes or autosomes is affected, then disorders are called autosomal disorder. If the structure or the number of chromosomes is changed in the sex chromosome, it is called allosomal disorders. It is called a allosomal disorder. So listen very carefully. See, in this chart I have written the symptoms of two autosomal abnormalities and two allosomal abnormalities. Listen very carefully. So autosomal abnormalities means, already told you, 44 chromosomes are called autosomes. So if any abnormalities or if any changes occur in the structure and number of these autosomes, it leads to autosomal disorders or autosomal abnormalities. Listen, the first example is called Down syndrome, otherwise called trisomy 21. Here trisomy 21 means tri meaning also 3. So the 21st chromosome having one more additional chromosome. So the 21st chromosome, one more copy, additional copy is there in the 21st chromosome. So this condition is called Down syndrome. This condition is called Down syndrome, otherwise called trisomy 21. Then the symptoms: mental problem. The affected person is affected with some mental problems. Then the central nervous system is damaging, second symptoms. Third one is separation between the eyes. The space between the two eyes are increasing. Increased separation between the eyes. Then the next symptom is flattened nose. The next one is tongue protrude. Tongue protrude means tongue is always pushing outside. And constantly opened mouth. They cannot close their mouth properly. Always the mouth is in opened condition. So these are the symptoms of this Down syndrome. These are the symptoms of Down syndrome. So this is the first example for the autosomal abnormalities. This is the first example for the autosomal abnormalities. And the second example is pair 2 syndrome, otherwise called trisomy 13. So trisomy 13. So in the 13th chromosome, one more copy is there. One more additional number of chromosomes is present in the 13th chromosome. So this condition is called pair 2 syndrome, otherwise called trisomy 13. Hope you understood the symptoms of these disorders. Pair 2 syndrome. Say mental problem. Here also the mental problem, mental retardation is the major problem, major symptoms of this disorder. Second is small head with small eyes. Size of the head is very small and eye size also very small. Then next one is cleft palate, meaning a small burrow is present in this region. So this condition is called cleft palate. The next one is malformation of brain and internal organs. So the affected person's brain and internal organs are not developed properly. Understand? So these are the symptoms of this pair 2 syndrome. So pair 2 syndromes are otherwise called trisomy 13, meaning one more additional copy of chromosome is present in the 13th chromosome, and these are the symptoms. So now we completed 2 examples for this Down syndrome. Then allosomal abnormalities. Allosomal abnormalities means changes in the structure or number of sex chromosomes. Changes in the structure or number of sex chromosomes is called allosomal abnormalities or allosomal disorders. Here are also 2 examples I have written here. The first example is Klinefelter syndrome. Klinefelter syndrome affecting only males. Males only affected by this syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome. See, normally you all know 44 autosomes are present in the male body and 2 sex chromosomes are present. One X chromosome and one Y chromosome. So 44 plus 2, 46. Totally 46 chromosomes are present in the male body cells. Here, if anyone is affected by this Klinefelter syndrome, one more additional X chromosome is there. One more additional X chromosome is there. Listen very carefully. So normally 46 chromosomes only there in the male cells. But here, if anyone is affected with this Klinefelter syndrome, instead of 46 chromosomes, 47 chromosomes are there, because one additional X chromosomes also there. So this syndrome is called Klinefelter syndrome. So I hope you understand the meaning of this Klinefelter syndrome meaning this syndrome. In this syndrome, one more X chromosome is present in the male cells. Okay, this disease affecting only males. So instead of 46 chromosomes, the affected person cells having 47 chromosomes. Hope you understood that. Symptoms of this Klinefelter syndrome. See, listen, sterile. Sterile means that males unable to produce young one. Okay, unable to produce young one. They become very tall. Then obese, stout body. Then high pitched voice. The voice is entirely different from a normal person, normal male. Then feeble breast. A small sized breast is developed in the chest area. So these are the symptoms of this Klinefelter syndrome. Then next syndrome is called Turner syndrome. Next syndrome is called Turner syndrome. Turner syndrome affecting the females only. So females are affected with this Turner syndrome. Listen very carefully. In Turner syndrome, one X chromosome is decreased in the female cells. Normally 44 autosomes and 2 X chromosomes, totally 46. But here, instead of 2 X chromosome, only 1 X chromosome only there. 1 X chromosome is absent. So instead of 46, only 45 chromosomes only present in the female cells. So this condition is called Turner syndrome. Instead of 46 chromosome, 1 X chromosome is decreased. So instead of 46 chromosome, 45 chromosomes only there in the affected person's body. Then symptoms, sterile. These females unable to produce young one. Low stature, meaning their appearance is not like a normal female. Okay, the height may be short, may be very short. Then webbed neck. Webbed neck meaning, say, between the head and shoulder region. That means the neck region having many small folding. Okay, the skin of the neck region having many folding. So this condition is called webbed neck. The next symptom is lack of menstrual cycle during puberty. Okay, so these are the important symptoms of this Turner syndrome. So once I repeat, these are allosomal abnormalities. Many abnormalities are there. Here we have written only 2 abnormalities. First one is Klinefelter syndrome. This syndrome affecting the males. So if any male affected by this syndrome, 1 X chromosome, additional X chromosome is present in their cell. So instead of 46 chromosomes, 47 chromosomes are there. Then second one is Turner syndrome. This disorder affecting the females. In female body, 2 X chromosomes are there, but the affected persons only 1 X chromosome is there. So instead of 46 chromosomes, 45 chromosomes only there in the affected females. Understand a few? So now we have completed the 4th chapter also. Okay, so today we have completed one important topic, very important topic, genetic disorders. So listen very carefully. The genetic disorders are classified into 2 types. I told you, Mendelian disorder and chromosomal disorder. Sometimes they will ask the totally 4 Mendelian disorders we have studied. Okay, they will ask to write all the 4 Mendelian disorders for 5 mark question. Separately, okay, thalassemia, albinism, like that separately they will ask for 3 mark question. And many 2 mark question, 1 mark question, many questions are there. Okay, then next one is chromosomal disorder. Chromosomal disorders also 4 syndromes. Down syndromes, Patu syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, Turner syndrome. Togetherly it may be asked for 5 mark question, or separately it's a 2 mark question. Then many 1 mark question. For example, this trisomy 21 is 1 mark question. Trisomy 13 is 1 mark question. Then how many X chromosomes are present in the Klinefelter syndrome person? Like that, many 1 mark questions also may be asked. So I hope you all understood today's class also. Next class we will start the next chapter. Today itself try to complete all these question answers, and after studying you will send that answer to me. Okay, in the last classes, the previous classes, many of you send the answer. I really appreciate you. You are giving more importance to your studies. You are not wasting. So all the students, please, all the students, you must study all these question answers. Don't waste your time, and if possible you send the answer to me. I will correct. If you put any mistakes, I will correct and give to you. Okay, thank you. We'll meet in the next class.